Hello and welcome to this Sagaciti Insight software how-to video guide on completing a self-assessment. We're starting in dashboard view. You can see the toolkit we have available to us is the first self-assessment, and if we click on the title that'll take us to the RAG matrix. This is the RAG matrix for the toolkit first self-assessment. You can see the heading here, and by clicking on the heading that'll take us to this view of the self-assessment, and this is the one we're going to use. You'll see the description and the guidance of the approach for process, procedure and policy, and then the description for the key element and individual sub-elements where the statement's explained. What we need to do is read the statement and make an assessment of whether we're red, amber or green, and select the radio button. If you want more information on this, you can go to Using Sagaciti Insight under More Info, and if you scroll down to the bottom of this page you'll see information on scoring, what scores to give, and some guidance that will help you. So we read each of these statements in turn, and we make an assessment of where we are as an organisation or department or business against the statement, and then simply select the RAG score. This is a nice, easy and relatively quick way of doing this, but you could do it with a team of people and make a decision between you, or you could do it on your own and just do a quick assessment of where you fit. You can see that when you click a new score you get a score updated sign, and in the top right of the screen the yellow score is the combined score for this key element. You can hover over the blue text to see tooltips which explain what's in the glossary. So the score there is amber. The numbers are only for admin purposes. If we go back up, we can go back to the RAG matrix. Well, there we can see the pie that's been completed, and we can see the view levels for principal, approach, key element and sub-element. By selecting the approach we open the next level down underneath the principal, and we see the description and guidance, and this is what we saw in the other view just now. You can see where we've scored in the other view, that's been brought forward into this. If we try and score something that's not supported by the previous scores, it tells us there's a conflict, but we can override it. If we do override it, we get a score overridden sign just to remind us that we've done that, and by setting it back to where it was, it just allows us to do it. By clicking on the pen we can add information into the editor, which includes images, tables, bulleted texts. You can also add links to other documents. There's a spell checker comes with the editor, and it's set to automatically default to British English. And once you made the changes you need to make, you simply click Finish Checking. You can also add styles. So this one's called a special container, which is useful for headings or text that you particularly want to make note of when you're reviewing the evidence boxes. Similarly, you can add numbered or bulleted lists. Then simply save the evidence, and it's there in the rationale at the approach level. You can click Show More Detail to open the key elements under the approach, add more evidence in the next rationale box. And carry on by opening the sub-elements that sit under the key element, and again if you wanted to you could add evidence into each of these boxes. So you could score from the RAG matrix screen by opening all of these, either by using the view level to open to the level you want, or show more or less detail as you go down through the page. You then simply add the evidence you want to add and click the relevant radio button. By going back to Toolkit, clicking Actions, you can generate a summary report, a complete report, or a custom report. Type a title if you want one. And you can either generate the report on screen or go straight to PDF. This is the summary report for the self-assessment that we've generated so far. There's no evidence shown in the rationale box because we didn't add rationale at the principal level. The complete report similarly does this, and you can display the completeness if you want to about how far through the principle and the assessment you are. And in this case we're going to generate a PDF report straight from the system. So this is the PDF report with our title added. And as you go through the pages, you can see scoring at the sub-element level, and you can see some of the evidence that we added. And evidence we added at the key element level and at the sub-element level. The custom report allows you to choose whether or not to show the RAG charts and various other items. So then we go back to the dashboard and you can see that the RAG chart has now been completed. So now we'll look at scoring. So we can go to the RAG matrix either from the side menu or by clicking on the title again. And we can see the score level slider, which gives us the opportunity to look at principal, approach, key element and sub-element scores. And by scrolling down to the bottom of the screen, we can see the principal score, which in this case is amber, and the overall score. The principal amber has a statement there which assesses where you are, and also an offer of help and how to contact us. The overall score is amber, but we also have the pie chart here, which if you remember was set at the top of the screen at sub-element level. Again, there's an overall comment around scoring amber and an offer to discuss what you found. Please feel free to contact us if you'd like to do that. By setting it key element level, you can see that this pie chart has actually changed. So the RAG pie has changed, and it's changed down here as well. Because there's only one principle, the overall principle and the overall score for the whole thing will be the same in the self-assessment module. By selecting the approach, we get a different score, and you can see by opening up the showing more detail that the approach is scored amber, and that's reflected here in the overall. By selecting principal level, we get the same RAG chart score here, but you'll notice the approach, the RAG charts aren't visible, and if we show more detail, they're not available in the key element either. This is actually quite a good way of navigating the system, because if you have everything open to sub-element level by selecting the button there, you can actually scroll down to whichever level, because there won't be charts below the level you've selected. You can see there are no sub-element charts shown here, but it doesn't affect the radio buttons. And by selecting sub-element, if we go through, you'll see that the scores for the RAG charts are all shown. And the scores build from the lowest up. So if you start with sub-element, that will build the key elements and in turn the approaches and the principal. And if you want to get back to where you were when you landed, simply click Reset to Initial View. I hope this has been helpful. If you require any more information, please don't hesitate to contact us.